Hello everyone, welcome back. Part 2. I guess we need to get Epona. I don't know this game very well, so there's bound to be times where I just don't know what I'm doing. Where I'm supposed to go and stuff. Oh, I turned off Furigana as well, so there should no longer be Furigana. Hey guys. Ara omae. So ara, just sort of a sound of surprise, and then our name. Epona. I guess I should say Epona, shouldn't I? Like the Japanese Epona, Epona. Aratte oite ageta wa yo. So arao in its base form is to wash or to clean, I guess, or to wash, I suppose. And this is that oku grammar again. So she's saying the te form, of course, aratte, and then she's used the te form of oku as well, which is oite, because she wants to append another sort of verb kind of thing onto the end. So she kind of washed Epona in advance of when we need it done in the future, you know. And then ageru is again this kind of to do something for another person. When you do something for someone else, from your own viewpoint, you were doing it upwards. So she ageru'd it. She did it upwardsly for us. And that's obviously past tense. Aratte oite ageta. And then wa is kind of a feminine vibe changer, I'm going to call it. And then yo is also kind of a, you know, another vibe changer. Just they don't really mean anything. They just kind of change the nuance a little bit. She's just telling us. She's declaring, maybe confidently, that, you know, that's what she's done with yo. The wa is kind of feminine. Men do say it sometimes, but I feel it's kind of soft. It kind of softens it. Sounds a bit feminine. Thanks. Okay, now I'm just going to get on and go. See you later. No need to talk. Ah. Oh, oh! But can you ride like that? No, you can't do anything. Okay. It's a bit janky, actually. The horse controls. All right, I'm good, dude. He's gone. We have Towaru Mura, I believe. Towaru Mura. What is it called in English? Isn't it called like Ordin? I can't remember. Is it like Ordin Village or something like that? Oh man. What's Towaru then? That's very strange. Alright, I'm not going to talk to anyone. We've got plenty of text. As it is with the unskippable text, so we don't need anything extra. Towaru bokujo we have there. The first kanji was boku, and the second one was jo, bokujo, just meaning like a... Basically, I suppose it is a ranch. It's like an animal raising area, is bokujo. It's for raising animals and, you know, farming. Farming them, maybe, milking them and stuff, you know, that sort of stuff. Warui na omae. So... just, you know, it's bad, isn't it, in the sense of, you know, he knows he's being impolite by, you know, with what he did. So he's saying, you know, I've done badly. I know I've been rude. You know, implied within that is like an apology. You know, I'm kind of sorry for being inappropriate, for being improper by coming to you suddenly. And the na there is just kind of a rhetorical agreement seeking thing. Warui na, I'm being... How do I translate this, man? I'm being rude, aren't I? You know, it's bad of me, isn't it? Omae. And then kie ni kite moratte. This is kind of funny. In Japanese, they often kind of reverse the order of things. Ideally, I suppose. Well, yeah, I suppose ideally you would have this bit first and then this. Kyū ni kite moratte warui na omae. But this is very common in Japanese, just to sort of say the last bit first and then to give what it is, like the reason or the explanation for that bit after it. It's kind of odd, but very natural, very common. So we have kyū basically meaning sudden, and the ni is just kind of needed. It sort of changes it into suddenly, you know, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, suddenly. And then kite moratte. So kuru, this is a weird verb actually. Kuru is to come, and that's an exception verb because you may notice that I said kite, which doesn't resemble kuru really at all, but that's how it conjugates. So kyū ni kite moratte. And morao in its base form is to receive. So what he's saying is, it's bad of me to suddenly receive your coming. To have you come. It was bad of me to suddenly have you come, you know, to help out and whatever we're doing here. Saikin koitsura yousu ga okashikute sa. Zenzen iu koto kiite kurenai nda. So saikin, again, like before, recently, basically. Koitsura, these guys. It's kind of the vibe. The da being a pluralizer, so, you know, these guys. Yosu is like one's kind of state, condition. It can be maybe like appearance as well, but I think this is just like that condition. Yosu. Ga okashi, as it would be in its base form. Okashi is like strange, weird, like in a negative way, you know. They're not normal. They're not being normal. They're being a bit off, a bit strange. So yosu ga okashikute. That's just the te form of the adjective okashi. Just becomes okashikute. And he didn't really need to put it in this form. He could have. He probably could have just said yosu ga okashi, but people will just often put things into te form, and then kind of trail off. It's almost like he's got more to say, but he's just trailed off, which is also very common in Japanese. You don't have to. You don't rarely finish your sentences, but it's very common not to finish. You know, a lot of information just gets implied and you don't need to explicitly state information. But in this case, I wonder if it's just his putting sa at the end is how he wants to end it. So he's just gone with okashikute sa. Sa is another vibe changer. It doesn't really change the meaning. It's just... No, I don't really know. I don't really know what it does, to be honest, but nothing. Kind of. Zen means like not at all, but it has to be with a negative verb, which it is in this case. So it means not at all when used with a negative verb. So we have zen yu koto, the things I say. Kite kurenai, they do not, you know, do me the favor, I suppose. They do not listen for me. For me, they don't listen. And then unda, just that kind of explanatory language again. Warui kedo, epona de oitate chimatte kureyo. Warui, again, you know, I know it's bad, but epona de, using epona, I suppose. Oitateru. That's interesting. Let's have a look at that. Okay, to drive on, to urge forward. Okay, e.g. cattle, etc. So you've got maybe a specific verb in this context of, you know, rounding up animals, maybe. Oitateru. And there we have oitate chimau, which is probably, in this case, the suffix meaning to do something until it's complete. Chimau would be its kind of standard form, but of course he's gone with the te form again. Chimatte kure. This kure is just kind of a modest imperative, I suppose I would call it. It's sort of like kind of ordering us, it's telling us to do it, but I guess just because it's kure. Like, it's probably inappropriate in most contexts, but I don't think it's too bad between, like, friends, you know. Oitate chimatte kure. And then yo, just, you know, a vibe changer again. Jikan mo nai shi. Sassoku yatte moratte mo ii ka? Okay, jikan is just like time. And then he's saying mo nai, there does not exist even time, like we don't have even time for this or whatever. And then she just kind of comes at the end of well, it kind of indicates a non-exhaustive list of reasons. So, you know, we don't have time. I suppose you could see it as etc. among other reasons. You know, we don't have time, etc. So there's more reasons, but there's no need to say them. You can just say she, and it's very natural. I do this a lot. I will say she, like, you know, for whatever reason. Implying that there are more reasons you want to do something, but, you know, you don't need to say them all. It's just, you just say one and put she at the end. Sassoku, just like, you know, at once, immediately. And then yatte is like the te form of yaru, meaning to do. So yatte moratte. So, well, moratte mo ii. So putting e after the te form of a verb, like, means, well, in a question it's asking if it's okay for something to be done. Or if it were a statement, obviously you'd be telling someone that it's okay for the verb to be done, for them to do the verb. So he's saying yatte moratte mo ii. Which is, you know, can I receive your doing it? You know, is it okay to receive your doing it immediately, you know, as quickly as possible? And then cut at the end for a questionizer. The mo, I don't know why mo's in there, to be honest. I feel like you could just remove that and just have yatte moratte ii. But no, maybe the mo... Maybe the mo means... I think it might just politify it a little bit. Yatte moratte ii. That's just kind of like, you know, can I receive your doing it? Whereas the mo... I don't know. What is mo? Yatte moratte mo ii. I wonder if it's like, is it okay even if I receive you're doing it? Like, it's sort of put the even in there, maybe. So it's kind of modestied it up a little bit. I don't know. It's sort of become a bit more of a nicer request, maybe. Yeah, anyway. Okay, then we'll say hi, obviously. じゃあ、こいつらみんな小屋に oitate kure. Okay, so ja is just like, now then. You know, with that decided, you know, it's kind of just means now, from now, all right, let's go, kind of. It sort of precedes an explanation or like an action or whatever. So it's just like, okay, and then, you know, an explanation. Koitsura, so these guys again. Minna, just meaning everyone or all. Minna is used for people to mean everyone. I'm sure you've probably heard that, but it is also used for like objects. You can say minna to mean every one of the objects as well. Just a, you know, quick point about that word, I suppose. Koya is just literally a small, well, a small building, I suppose, a small Something with a roof, basically a small building, but obviously in this context it's just a shed. And then ni, so into the shed, and then oitatete, yeah, oitatete kure. So, you know, just how do you say it? Like round them up into the shed, I suppose, all of them. Right, let's get them. Oh, look at that! You've got a verb auru. Auru. I might look that up actually. Like, why not? Let's just get a few in. If I can. Easy, lad. Nope. Go left. No, wrong way. Ah, you fools. Get in there, bro. Woo! I need the carrots from Ocarina of Time. I want to run faster. Get in there, lads. That's it. You too. There we go. Right, I'm just going to look up Auru. Oh, it's kind of obvious, I suppose, what it means, but so to fan, to agitate, to stir up. So I guess it's just to agitate, right? Yeah, just to kind of rouse them up a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Okay, and here we have omae epona, arigato na. So just, you know, thanks, you know, is kind of the na at the end. Thanks, yeah. Ashita wa meiwaku kakezu ni chanto yaru kara sa. Omae wa yukkuri yasunde kure yo. Ashita wa, so ashita's just tomorrow. Meiwaku. Meiwaku is like... What is meiwaku? It's like bother, I suppose. Yeah, bother. And so, like, meiwaku o kakeru is kind of a set phrase. Meiwaku o kakeru. It's like to... I don't want to use the word douse. But it's like to douse bother onto somebody, quite literally. It's like to... There's a better word than douse, surely. But, you know, like to place bother onto someone. That's literally what it means. But of course it means just to bother someone. And he's said meiwaku kakezu, which means to not do it. That's a negative. And usually zu and then ni, it means like without doing something. So meiwaku kakezu ni. So without bothering. And obviously, you know, it's kind of implied that, you know, he's not going to bother us. Meiwaku kakezu ni, without bothering. Chanto yaru kara. Chanto just meaning like, you know, properly, as one should. Yeah, properly, basically. Yaru, to do, so I will do it properly tomorrow without bothering you. Kara, kind of basically just meaning so in this case, so, and then sa at the end, just nothing, doesn't really mean anything. Omae wa, that's the pronoun omae, not our name, because it's written in kanji again. Omae wa yukkuri yasunde kure yo. Yukkuri means like leisurely, you know, taking it easy, relaxedly, at ease. And then yasumu is to kind of rest, to have a day off of work or whatever, to rest. So yukkuri yasunde kure. So he's kind of, again, that kind of, how did I describe it before? Like a modest imperative. Like, yeah, just, you know, take it easy, all right? Kind of thing. Ah, sore yori, kyou wa dou suru? Oh, okay. What is this? I should be able to read this. Is this like, this begins with an S, I think. Is it Satsugoe or something? No, I don't know, man. Let's have a look. Satsu... Oh, I might be wrong. Come on, man. Satsugoe. Come on. I've got to be close. Let's see. must be... please be an entry for this. Come on. No, there's not one. Okay, well let's... Maybe I can just look up the... I know the first one kind of means fence, right? Saku. Of course it's Saku. Come on. Maybe I can do like Sakugoe and see. No, there's no entries for that. Anyway, Sakugoe. No lenshu shite kaeru ka. So, just a noise. Sore yori, kind of than that, quite literally, but it's... Sore yori means like, you know, more importantly. Yeah, basically, more importantly than that. More importantly than what I just said. Kyo wa dou suru. So, kyo, just today, and then dou suru is like how. Do. How will you act? What will you do? Kyo wa dou suru. What are you going to do today? And then sakugoe no lenshu. Sakugoe, that's just fence crossing. Koeru is to cross over something. Like maybe a river, or, well, anything really, I suppose. A river or a bridge, or, you know, anything you can cross over. You koeru it. So sakugoe is, I guess, just because that's the stem there. I guess this whole thing is a noun. It's just like fence jumping, I suppose, isn't it? And then no, just linking it to the next noun, which is denshu, which means to practice. So fence jumping practice, shite kaeru. So it's kind of like this te form verb here kind of denotes the order in which things will be done. So kaeru is to go home, to return home. And so you basically just have like, will you go home having done practice of fence jumping? You know, are you going to practice and then go home, sort of thing? And then cut, of course, just that questionizer. Oh no, really? Don't make me do it, dude. Matte na. So just, you know, matte is just the te form, which when just used like this is like a request. It's quite a light request. And that's from the verb matsu, meaning to wait. So matte is just telling us to wait or requesting that we wait in a light way. Matte na. And the na again is just a kind of a, you know, or wait, yeah. Sugu saku no junbi shite yaru yo. So sugu, like at once, immediately, yeah. And then saku no junbi, so fence preparations. Junbi is like preparations, basically. And then shite yaru. This, you don't really need to do this. Shite yaru, I feel like shite yaru has a slightly rough sound to it. You can basically put yaru onto the end of any te form verb. And I feel like it kind of roughens it up a little bit, just the sound. So be careful with it. But, you know, he didn't need to do that. Grammatically, he didn't have to do that. He just wants to talk like that. He could have just said sugu saku no junbi ma suru. He could have just said suru yo, or yaru yo, but he's decided to say shite yaru. I think to give a slightly more kind of, you know, sort of a blokey sound, you know, we're men and we were, you know, it's sort of, maybe, a bit rougher, I think. Omatase. Omatase is a shortening of the longer phrase omatase shimashita. This verb here, again, matsu, to wait, but you can change it into causative, which it would be mataseru, which means, you know, to cause to wait. So he made us wait. He caused us to wait. And then, this is complicated, but then you change it into keigo after that. So you put an honorific before that. Omatase, use just the stem of the causative, in this case, omatase, so we don't have the ru on the end. And then you put shimashita. So you kind of have an honorific, change the causative into a noun, and then change it back into a verb with shimashita at the end. Omatase shimashita. And so that's, you know, I made you wait, and implied within that is an apology, kind of. Quite often, especially from like people in the service industry and hospitality. You will often hear like people say omatase shimashita if you have to queue for like a minute. usually the person who's serving you will say omatase shimashita. You know, I made you wait, and within that is implied an apology. You know, I'm sorry for having made you wait. And here we have skina dake lenshu shitette kure. Shitette kure. Skina dake lenshu shitette. Shitette kure. I don't know what this is, man. What is this? This must be a shortening of something. Anyway, skina dake. This basically means, I suppose you could translate it as like precisely how much you want, precisely the amount you desire. So as much as you want. Skina dake. I'm not entirely sure why, actually, but it's, you know, you don't really need to know why, I suppose. Just skina dake just means as much as you desire. And then denshu to practice, and then shite, you know, just, you know, practice as much as you like. And then we have a small tsu and a te. Skina dake denshu shitette. Shitette. I don't know why. I don't know what that's a shortening of. Skina dake denshu shitette. And then kure again, this kind of, you know, do it as much as you like. Kind of a modest imperative again, maybe. Yeah, I don't know what that's short for. Had he said shitete? Is it shiteyatte? I don't know what that's a shortening of. I don't think I've ever seen this before. It's very strange. I might notice like afterwards, and I'll put it in the comments if I figure it out, but I don't know what's going on, man. Ki ga sundara sono mama mon wo tobikoete kaete ize. Okay, ki ga sundara. Ki is one's kind of intent, one's mind, one's mood. It sort of covers a lot of ground, actually, ki. It covers a lot of bases. And sumu is to kind of, to end, I suppose. I'm just looking it up here. To finish, to end, to be completed, to feel at ease. Well, I suppose I should look it up as a whole phrase. To be satisfied. Okay. Ki ga sundara. So ki ga sumu is your base kind of verb. I suppose that's a, what's the word? It's kind of a phrasal verb, isn't it? Ki ga sumu. And sundara is a kind of a conditional, meaning if or when. So if or when this verb happens, if you are satisfied, when you are satisfied. Sono mama, like that state, in that state. Sono mama. Yeah, in that state. So without, you know, we don't have to clean anything up, just, you know, just return in what, you know, in that state when you are satisfied. Just sort of go home. Mon is a gate. Tobi koeru, we discussed koeru already, that's to cross over. And tobu is to jump. So tobi koete is just to jump over, I guess, to cross over jumping, to jump over something. And then kaete is kaeru, to go home. Kaete I. So we've got this I again after a te form. This time it's not a question. So he's not asking if it's okay to go home. He's telling us it's okay to go home. Once we are happy with our training or practice or whatever. And then ze is just, again, just kind of a vibe changer. Kind of sounds a bit masculine, I suppose. It's kind of a masculine thing to say, maybe. And we're done. He set up the fences and we just considered them an obstacle and went home. Okay, here we have seibu shimasu ka. Seibu meaning save, and obviously shimasu is the polite form of suru. You know, will you save? Why not? Okay, ゲーム中のセーブはスタートを押してコレクト& 装備画面で左下のセーブを選べばいつでも行えます。Okay, we've got quite a lot. We've got quite a lot going on here. Game chew. So this chew means like inside or among or within. And that's kind of what it's doing, like within the game, during the game. So game chew no save. So that no just linking. So the save of during the game. Start or oshite. Osu is to press. And that's obviously the te form here. So start or oshite, press start. Koreketo is collect, which I suppose they use in this case a bit like a noun. So collect means like collection, perhaps. And then sobi is equipment, and gamen is a screen. So collection and equipment screen. De just meaning like via or using, or when on, I suppose, via the collect and equipment screen. Hidari shita is just left down, so lower left basically. Lower left na seibu o erabeba. Erabu again to choose, which we've seen already. This is a conditional erabeba. So if you select save from the lower left of that screen, itsu demo meaning at any time. Demo with a question word kind of means any, whatever the question refers to. So itsu demo is whenever. Doko demo would be wherever. Nan demo means like whatever. So demo with a question word kind of covers all of those, which is, kind of useful to know. And then oko nao. Oko nao is your base verb, meaning to sort of to do something, to hold something, to, I think it's used for like to actuate something. It means it's used for like events. You can oko now events, you can hold events, you can actuate events, you can make them happen, I suppose. And this is okonayeru, which is potential form. So okonayeru from okonau to okonayeru is just potential form, meaning you can do it. And then of course, as I'm sure you've read, it's not okonayeru, it's in the polite form okonayamasu, just the polite form, like I said. So you can do it at any time by choosing save from the lower left of the collection and equipment screen, etc. I wonder if we should leave it there. I'll continue for a second. I just don't want to get bogged down in some... Oh, I think I am. I think I might leave it here, actually. These kids aren't going to leave us alone, right? Okay, yeah, let's just leave it. Let's leave it there. We'll deal with these guys next time. Cool. Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for watching. Like if you want, don't if you don't. Sub if you want, don't if you don't. Support if you want, don't if you don't. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks to my patrons. And I'll see you next time.